Alright, let's get into Kings of Urban vs Flipside. This is the last series of RLCS that we're going to watch today. So we'll get straight into it. Who was in the IBP roster before Gambit and Lachino joined? Oh yeah, wait. Marky going on the stage with Kings of Urban's, you know, memento, the foam hat. Sort of like, before these guys went on stage, they had to talk to each other. They said, you know, one of us is going home. This shouldn't be like this, but that's just the way it is. And they're all going to be friends after, which is pretty cool. A lot of respect between these two teams. A lot of respect in the entire pro scene, for the most part. So that's just kind of a gesture from Marky to Jacob, but also from Flipside to Kings. What was I talking about before that? Did I have a stream schedule? No. I've forgotten my train of thought that I was talking about before the foam hat came on the screen.
Let's go. I see a couple people over there in the nosebleeds as well.
Yeah, pace changes throw off opponents for sure.
That energy because your casters will certainly need it. Let's go ahead, toss it over to Wave Punk.
What RLCS matches have I reviewed today? We started off with the Exodus versus Northern, then IBP versus the Flying Dutchman, then Mocket versus Genesis, and now this is the fourth one, Kings versus Flipside.
I don't think either. I thought you were the only really tall Texan, and Marky might take your spot.
He's not from Texas.
But he's really tall.
That's not how
he's
you
wearing
wear
a cowboy
a
hat. That's cowboy, like Texas cowboy hats. That's how it works.
Nah, all the RLCS teams were pretty respectful, to be honest. Everybody had a lot of respect for each other, which is pretty cool.
We're going to be facing off in the losers bracket. One of them was going to be tying for last place. I would have been like, what? What?
What?
No.
What?
That? What you just
the
did.
same?
What?
crazy.
No, just not as high pitch. I can't handle it.
What?
Oh, IBP before Latch and Gambit. It was Kronovi Gibbs and Sad Jr. Sorry, Kronovi Gibbs Sad Jr. was the old IBP roster.
In any kind of theoretical whatever, like it just alternate universe.
There's
Like
no
I'm
alternate
dreaming right
universe
now.
where this happens, right? What happens in this one?
Oh, IBP beating Flipside in round one was huge. Huge for their confidence. Like, after they did that, they probably felt like they could do anything, because Flipside have always been the team that, you know, just stand in IBP's way, beat them every time that they face up against them. So that was a huge moral victory and just a confidence booster for IBP for sure.
Statistically speaking, is the best in almost every category.
Fire's picture destroys Cucks? I don't think so.
Yeah, they destroy teams in the statistic category because of how well they play, and it's that.
Vogan didn't have much respect for TFT. Oh man, you're not wrong.
Match of the day, Flipside Tactics versus the Kings of Urban.
The triangle in Leaf's head. What? Why did IBP change roster? Because Kronovi didn't want to play with Gibbs and Sad Jr. anymore.
Stays alive. Game number 1 will be on DFH Stadium. We will have Flipside in the orange with the Kings of Urban in the blue. Get underway here with kickoff. Jacob.
Fake kickoff right from the get-go for Flipside. It's a bit risky because the one thing that you're going to be thinking about at the start of a game is probably a kickoff, and that's why doing a fake is maybe a bit risky right at the beginning. Maybe Flipside thought that Kings would think that it was too risky for them to go for it, and that's why they went for it. Who knows? Flipside's mind games on kickoffs are very interesting.
The qualifiers against, I think it was Shoot and Goal, and they fake it so it gets put right back to him so they can chip it up and then have another player. But going to chip it right over Sad Jr.
So I prefer over 0 or Gambit on IBP's roster. Over 0 by a mile. Lachino's looking better because of that. Oh dear. Not the best defending by Sad. Just a bit panicky.
Not going to be a big deal. They can still pull this off very well. Jacob and Fireburner to move up here. Sad Jr. pops it up. I don't think Fireburner knew he was going to do that, but Jacob is up for this one. Cookser takes it from him off the top. There's going to be a back pass. Jacob,
what a pass from Jacob. Beautiful play by Jacob. Really nice. Even though Kings of Urban lost their series against the Flying Dutchman on day 1, I think Jacob was their standout player by a long way. And he continues to shine, just finding creative ways to put the other team in trouble. Which team did I want to win the LAN? Flipside. Every time Flipside were on stage, I was cheering for them because they're my buddies. I was traveling with Mike and Marky from Scotland, and all the way back to Scotland with Marky, and also Scrubkilla, and Scrubkilla's dad. It's a really nice finish by Sad. Alright, Mike went for the boost. He kind of trusted Marky to have this, and then Sad getting the shot like beyond Marky makes it very difficult for Marky to save. The fact that the ball is allowed to hit off the back wall is probably a misplay for Flipside though. Which 3 players would make the best team if Gambit was healthy? Dude, like, what do you mean? Like, if Gambit didn't have social anxiety? Well, he does. So, like, how on earth are we supposed to make an assumption based on if he didn't? Like, that's just the real world that we live in. The Gambit has social anxiety, and the best IBP that we've ever seen is the one that won the LAN. So, obviously, the roster without Gambit is the best team, because it's just the best one we've seen. Oh, what a save by Fire.
Showing why he is the second best in the world, being just behind Marky.
That angle from Cookster off the side of his
It's
Batmobile.
second best at what?
I thought it was like a 2-dimensional car, right? That thing was.
I'm so confused. What's Fireburner's second best at?
Still 2-1 in favor of Kings.
Somebody want to clarify?
19 left to go.
Lawler's saying that Fireburner's second best in the world behind Marky, but I don't know at what. What statistic is he second in? Will I coach pretty much anyone who can pay? Yeah, I mean, I don't discriminate.
So far, Kings of Urban doing a really good job playing the patient game. They're not pressuring too hard, as they know this Flipside team likes to attack.
Saves?
Counterattack just like this.
I really doubt Marky's first in the world at saves. I really doubt that. Marky's defensive style is less saves and more interceptions. What? Why is this shot going wide? That's weird.
They're going to take the chance to move it up.
Mike gets bumped. Cuxer puts it off the bar. Oh dear, that's a Johnny Boy shot if I've ever seen one.
Really good job.
This is...
They're going to take the chance to move it up.
Mike got bumped. He was there to finish. Shoots that one up.
No, that's just completely not acceptable by Marky. I have no idea why he's putting that one off the target. No idea why.
The counter attack, they shoot that one onto the net. It goes wide of the shot. Wide of the net there. Fireburner.
Marky's a fantastic defender, but he's not a fantastic goalkeeper. He would say so himself. Like, his style of defense is to stop shots before they even, well, to stop an attack before the shot even happens. Nice play by Jacob. I really don't know what is going on in the Flipside corner over here.
This ball get popped up, and Fireburner's going to use that backboard on the corner to make sure it plays directly back out at them.
Flipside getting a little bit too close together.
He's got a clear shot on net.
Marky really struggled day one. Actually, against IBP, Marky on day one was pretty solid. He was pretty solid. Probably Flipside's best player against IBP. Against Kings of Urban, Marky definitely struggled. This series, Marky was not playing well. And I really feel like Marky, and he knows this, he needs to find a way to just, like, you know, turn on his good play, because he's a very streaky player. He'll have a good streak of play, then a bad streak of play, then a good streak. In his, you know, pro player history, his good streaks have been far more prominent and far more common than his bad streaks. But when his bad streaks do happen, he can, like, really, you know, play a lot worse than we're used to seeing him play, which is what we're seeing right now. And I feel like it's results oriented. Like, if Marky misses a shot, just like we saw him do for the open net that I was criticizing, that kind of throws him off, and he, you know, until he does something really good, he won't be playing at his best. But if he does something really, really, like, great, like if he, you know, does a 1v2 or a 1v3 outplay, then he'll be pumped up, he'll be playing well. He's a very results-oriented player from what I've seen, which is not really what you want, because let's imagine that you've just done something really, really good. The odds are that you're winning because you've done something good. That in a situation like that, you don't need to be playing fantastically well. That should really be a goal. Cux did not have to score as high off the bar. Pressure stays there though. What a set by Mike. But what I was saying is, if you're already winning, you don't need to be playing fantastically, because you're already winning. But if you're losing, that's when you need to play fantastically, because your team needs you the most when you're losing. Right? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? You don't need necessarily to win by more, like 1-0 will do in Rocket League. 1-0 is enough. But if you're losing 1-0, that's when you need to step up. And if you're results oriented as a player, and you play well when you're winning, and you play bad when you're losing, that's like the opposite of what you need. And it's just a psychological thing. It's very natural for people to play well when they're winning and bad when they're losing. Sad Jr. with the whiff actually mind games Flipside. Yeah, Marky was going for the save. Sad Jr. missed. So Marky's out the game. Oh, what up? Kutram
Not enough.
Kutrum Aswami, how you doing, man?
41 seconds left. Flip side to tie it up. Jacob.
Can you be terrible at one of the core game mechanics like saves, shots, aerials and still be a good professional player? Not sure if you can be terrible. I don't think that there's any pro player who's terrible at any core mechanic. That'd be extremely unusual if you were terrible at saves, aerials, shots, because Rocket League is, like, everything is just hitting the ball, right? Like, a shot, you hit the ball hard. A pass, you hit the ball hard. A save, you hit the ball hard. It's all about hitting the ball cleanly and accurately. Oh, what a save by Mike. It's a really good shot before that as well. So, like, it's really unusual if somebody's bad at shots, for example, and good at saves, because they're just hitting the ball. Like, it's usually you're either good at hitting the ball or you're not. When will the next 1v1s be coming? Maybe after this I might do some. I'll see who's online. If there's people online who I fancy casting, then we'll go for it.
Absolutely. I don't think we saw a larger score margin than one in this game. Like they were so close. Both of them just went back and forth. Thanks, bud. And you're welcome. But my goodness, this is exactly the sort of game we expect to see from teams like Kings of Urban and Flipside. We just don't usually expect to see it in the lower bracket.
No, nobody planned for this to happen, and both teams are playing very well. Kings of Urban showing their unconventional play styles, going to try and help out against the fast attacking Flipside tactics.
Absolutely. There was a lot of team plays we saw come out of Flipside. They're known for that stuff. Kings of Urban also standing up and showing some fantastic passes.
Latch was terrible at saves. No, he wasn't. Latch has never been terrible at saves. He's just been really panicky. Pluto's here, yeah, I might watch some Pluto 1v1s. Oh, what up, Dapper? How you doing? Yeah, we could definitely get some 1v1s in the go, I'm pretty sure, because although it's late in EU, there's, you know, it's coming into prime time NA, so I'll get some NA 1v1s. Yeah, watch some Dapper 1v1s, why not?
3 minutes straight. It calms down so much there. It was just much slower gameplay.
The commentator cam is a shot of the crotch. Yeah, that's what I like to see. That's what we all like to see.
Yeah, and that's a really good way to phrase it too. Is the way that they.
But if you think about it, going back to the saves, shots thing, like, what is a save? You're just angling the ball away from your goal. The ball's going into your goal, you just make sure that it doesn't. You're redirecting it off the net. And it's the opposite of a redirect into your opponent's goal. Because if you redirect the ball into your opponent's net, the ball's not on target, and then you redirect it in. So it's basically the opposite of a save. They're both this exact same mechanic, you just change the direction of the ball, but for the opposite purpose. And that's what I mean when I say it's unusual if somebody's bad at saves and good at redirects, because they're just the same thing. Yeah, that's some good play. Although I criticize Marky for his play against KOU, he's playing well. After his initial miss, he had some good goals and good assists in the previous game that they just lost to KOU, and for this first goal here, you know, good play by Marky. Zoctanes versus Calamity. Oh my goodness. Yeah, for sure. Good night, sweet princess. It's a very, like, psychological thing. Some people, you know, won't be as comfortable making a save as they are making a redirect, because when you're making a save, there's that threat. You're worried that if you miss, the other team's going to get a goal. But if you miss a redirect, there's not really a threat as such, because you're not going to lose a goal. You're just going to miss an opportunity, so it's not as threatening, and that means that you're going to feel more comfortable naturally. Was that a pinch goal? Cuck's getting his second goal of the game, though, regardless. Why didn't people dribble at LAN? Because they felt threatened. They just cleared the ball. They wanted to get the ball away from their goal. Very normal when you're under pressure to just hit the ball as hard as you can. Man alive, Cuckster's just on fire. He's just so quick to the ball. Like, I was talking about this earlier, but Cucks, whenever he's going to the ball, watch, he's always going straight. No sidewinding, no coming from a weird angle. He's always just going straight at the ball and he bangs it in. Just really good awareness of where the ball's going to be going. And just unbelievable efficiency. Like, he's always going straight in a straight line at the ball. Hitting it so hard. And I want you to pay attention to Cuckster's shots as this series goes on. Every single shot, like 100 kph, top of the goal. Every single one. Just unbelievable. Why don't I start hosting a 1v1 invite tournament? Because the admin aspect is pretty boring, and I can just, you know... Nearly another one from Cucks.
this game.
But like I was saying, like, adminning a tournament is more trouble than it's worth for me personally. Like, I can just wing it, and if people want to donate a prize pool, like now that that's happened, I'm sure it'll happen again. And I've shown that I'm capable of distributing the prize, so like I got a $550 prize pool from Marky and Scrub. It was all crowdfunded. Like I didn't fund any of that myself. The only thing I guess I funded was the PayPal fees, but I'm, you know, perfectly happy to be the middleman. Distribute a prize pool from Twitch chat to the pro players.
It's been ever so strong. Mike Rules putting it past Fireburner, and they immediately transition this one back. Jacob going to try and push it over, but whiffs on the touch.
Man, the in-game sound is so quiet, like, from here, compared to what it was at the LAN.
Moving up, creating pressure. Sad Jr. takes a shot, but Marky is there onto the backboard. Fireburner in goal, waiting for Cookster's touch. He's going to drop down, and he's able to push it off to the side. Jacob gets a save there, getting himself a savior medal.
Doesn't it seem a bit weird that the players could hear the casters? Well, not really, because if you think about it, a pro football game, players in the stand might be chanting, like, and I'm not saying that this is good, but it's something that pro players in football have to deal with. A team might be chanting at a player from the other team that they hate. They'll just be like chanting something, and every time that you miss, like let's say that right here, Cux misses that ball. If it was like somebody going up for a header or like a volley or something in a real football game, and he missed, like if they're playing at the away stadium, the other fans are going to be going way, and, you know, try and get inside his head, and that's something that you just have to deal with in real sports. So it's not something that bothers me in Rocket League. It's not like you're going to get key information. Like, look out, he's shooting! And then all the pros are like, well, yeah, we already know. Who decided the MVP? I think it might have been the casters, or the analysts, James and Gibbs. Might have been James and Gibbs, yeah, I think it was. I mean, giving it to Zero or Latch is definitely cooler than giving it to Kronovi, because Kronovi's already so well known. Like, it means more to Kronovi or Latch. Oh, what a pass by Mike. Means more to them than it does to it would to Kronovi. Not saying it wouldn't mean anything to Kronovi, of course it would, but it would definitely be a bit like, oh well, Kronovi just has everything. He's MVP, he's got the BMW, he's the most popular player in Rocket League, he's got the biggest stream, the most followers, the most subs, like, and then he gets MVP as well on top of that. It would just be like, you know, they're just trying to bandwagon. People would always be saying, oh yeah, Kronovi, I'm sure he was MVP. Funnily enough, he was my MVP, if I got a pick. Oh, Cuxer, every single shot, dude. Kaboom. Every shot, straight in. He's just there. He just knows where he needs to be. But yeah, like JW Frogger said, Rocket League has the advantage that casters can't really give players information that they shouldn't know about. Like in other esports, there's fog of war, and if the casters could be heard by the players, that could ruin the game, where one team might hear something that they shouldn't know. Yeah, giving it to Over Zero was cool because of the story, for sure. Giving it to Lachino as well would have been cool, because Lachino got so much criticism leading up to the event. People were saying, bench Latch, Latch is a problem, Latch worst player, Latch worst defender NA, Latch everything terrible, just the worst player ever. Even Kronovi and Gambit can't carry him. And he's only 16, he's just a kid. So to take all that criticism and just shrug it off and go and win the LAN and put the best performance of his life, score some unbelievable goals, and defend really, really well on top of that. You know, shout out to Latch, because that's not easy to do, especially when he's just 16 years old. People have to remember that. These guys are just kids. Gotta be careful when you're criticizing them. So Marky and Cux doing the Vogan impression, just flipping right over the ball. Doesn't really matter when you're already winning 5-1. Would $25 be enough to request a 1v1 show match? What, between you and somebody else? Yeah, sure. Like, I just got 25 for somebody versus Cuxer, so I wouldn't discriminate. Like, if I'm gonna let somebody be casted on my stream for $25 against Cux, then I'd definitely, you know, take 25 to cast 2 randoms.
But obviously you want to secure that victory. it still allows you to see what this team is truly capable of. Obviously, we've seen them play in the past, and we know what.
Over Zero said he got really annoyed when the casters would say somebody didn't have boost or missed a boost pad. Okay, yeah, maybe that's information that the players wouldn't necessarily know. That's true. I feel like if you could see how much boost somebody has, that wouldn't like necessarily decrease the skill ceiling of the game or make the game less interesting for me. Imagine that somebody's name tag filled up with a darker color of, or a brighter color of orange. Let's say they're orange team, their name tag is dark orange, and then it fills up with bright orange depending on how much boost they have. And the same on blue team, but just a dark blue, light blue. That would be a pretty cool way, I feel, to show the boost amounts for the teams and the players. And you could show that to just the casters or to the players and the casters. I think both would be fine.
And that might have to be against certain players. Absolutely. Unfortunately, they're playing against Flipside Tactics with some of the best players in the world.
I am like James about fanboying Espeon but with Cuxer, except Cuxer's actually the best player in the world and Espeon isn't, so I'm not like James about at all in that regard. But apart from that, yeah, I completely agree. Oh no, I lost one of my quarters. There we go. I've got 5 quarters. That's the only dollars I have left, or the only American currency.
Scoreboard here, moving into game number 3. It's a new day. We're on Manfield. There's gorgeous mountains in the distance.
What is this nice?
Show match between Marky and Squishy Muffins.
Marky and Squishy Muffins. So what is this like? You want this to be a prize between Marky and Squishy? How's this gonna work? You just want this is money for me to schedule it, or this is money for them, or money for the winner between them? What do you mean? I'll do it. Either way, I'll do it. I'll do it. Orange Pie 86. I'll definitely do it. What is that emote, Greasy? What the? Who's that? I'm pretty savage. That's what I do. You know, overall here, Cuxer's scoring goals, but this isn't anywhere near as much of a carry as I remember it being. I think the last game is the real carry by Cux. Introducing boost being visible would be a whole nother level of gameplay. Yeah, it wouldn't make the skill ceiling any lower, I think. £20 for the winner, £6 for me. Alright, fair enough, dude. Orange Pie, 20 for winner between Marky and Squishy. I'll see what I can do, dude. Would you be happy like if I just streamed this at another time when wait a minute. Wait. Right. So would you be happy if I showed this like at another time when you're not here, or would you want to be here when I do it? Because it'll be a lot harder if I have to make sure that you, Squishy and Marky are here than if it's just Squishy and Marky. But I could like link you to the VOD of me doing it. And just the fact that you've donated a prize pool makes it a pretty good chance that somebody else will too. That's a really important demo indeed. I mean, Sad didn't play this well at all. I have to disagree with Luller here. Like, Sad there gives up possession, not good. Then he concedes pressure in the ball, not good. Then he gets beaten to the ball by Cux. Like, overall, Sad played that just about as badly as he could. Nah, Sad didn't play that well at all. I have to disagree. I know that it's Lawler's job to hype up the event and the players as much as possible, but that's not true. Like, Sad did not play that very well. And I'm sure Sad would agree with me. Like, he did a bad first touch to give away possession, then he backed off to give a free setup, and then he just got beaten to the ball. I can stream whenever? Alright, dude. I made a note of that. I'll talk to Squishy and Marky. £20 to the winner between Squishy and Marky. Interesting. Good morning, Crypto4. How you doing? What time is it? Good morning. Where is it where you are? Where is it where you live? Sad defensively is a liability? Yeah, so I've always said that. Sad Jr. is defense, I think his challenging is his biggest problem. Like, he makes unreliable decisions about when to challenge and when to back off. That might be to do with, I don't know if he plays with 110 FOV. If he does, I'd advise him to turn it down to 100 and up his distance to compensate. How good would I say the mechanical skill is for Squishy? Yeah, pretty good, but I've not seen enough of him play. Sad Junior could have saved that too. You switched to Batmobile, Greasy. Interesting. Very interesting. 50 USD for an hour of coaching or 50 for something else? It's 50 USD. I always work in US dollars for Rocket League related stuff because most of my followers slash fans, whatever you want to call them, are from, or viewers I guess, are from America. Can I point out which player is Sad Junior at the end of the match? That one. That guy. He's right here at the back. This is Fireburner. Oh, you mean in the player cams? He's the guy with the goatee. I was like, what an odd question, but now it makes sense. He's the one with the goatee, sitting on the right hand side of their desk as you look at them. That should just be a goal. Fireburner just with the panic. And I don't think that Sad saw Fireburner bumping the goalkeeper off the line because he could have put that one straight in as well. Some miscommunication coming out from KOU. Fireburner went for the goalie bump and Sad went for the pass rather than the open net finish. Press 1 if you're EU. Pluto types 1. Yeah, as if that was ever going to work. 3. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Everybody going up and everybody not touching the ball. It's just kind of doing its own thing at this point. Markey tries to back pass here. Mike set up in goals, able to push it back out up to the midfield line.
Sorry for the frame drops. That's just the video getting some lag at it on my end. Even Cuxer with a little bit of a panic clear there. He was not patient to let the ball bounce. Wait, what? How is this a sloppy touch from Mike? Hold up. Right here. That's a really good touch. It's not easy to do this. I don't think Mike could have played that much better, so sloppy is not the word I would use to describe it. That's right, I'm calling you out, Wavepunk. I want to see, like, Mike's jumping from a stationary position, and if he clears the ball straight back into the corner that he's facing, nobody's ready to follow up on it, and that's where Sad Junior is, so he doesn't want to hit it there. Hits it away from Sad Junior. Oh no, yeah, away from Sad Junior, and then Fireburner has to go around the ball to get it, which means his shot's never going to be super powerful. Like, it's a fairly good shot, but that's definitely not a sloppy touch from Mike. I don't think he could have played it much better if you ask me. He could have, you know, he could have played it better in theory. He could have got it to go straight behind him and along the wall, but definitely not the worst outcome by a long way from Mike. So no Cuxer's camera settings, just like medium stiffness, medium swivel, 100 FOV or something like that, and about 240 distance, something like that. I think default height, maybe 110, I can't remember. Mike's trying to dodge up, which is obviously not possible in Rocket League physics. Tips on finding the right camera settings, just type ! camera and copy mine. I mean, the reason that Mike and Marky are so aggressively positioned there is because the entire lineup of Kings of Urban are all shadowing. So Mike and Marky are not afraid of a counter-attack, and they're actually like welcoming another goal. If they can score another goal right there, then they can just seal the deal on that game. Take a 2-goal lead with 2 seconds left. Pros, cons of turning swivel up all the way. If you turn swivel up all the way, then it will be faster. If you turn it up all the way, it might be too fast. I would say just put it somewhere in the middle. That's Cuxer, Mike, Marky on the left. Did they actually show Kings of Urban on the camera? Yeah, that's Sad Junior over here. This is Fireburner, and that's Jacob closest to the camera.
match out of it.
A little bit of a buffer, like you said, at 3 in a minute yet again. And they didn't
25 quid prize for Gibbs versus Sad Jr. Well, I mean, sure, but you have to remember, like, if you're doing this and relying on me to organize it, this could take time. Like, I might need... Well, I don't think Gibbs has even accepted me on Steam. He has not. Sad Jr. has. Let me put him in his right team. KOU. Yeah, Gibbs hasn't even accepted me on Steam, so you'll have to bear with me as I try and schedule all these things. Schedule.
Yeah, between these two teams, Fireburner is definitely going to have to transition from offense into defense and then back if they want to make this full 3-team.
Gibbs said F you.
transition.
Maybe he did.
They're having to do it against the team
Just focus on that Euro tourney. I've got lots of things in the pipeline, yeah, and it's got to take some time. What is shadowing? Shadowing is like when you're defending a play, but you're facing away from the ball. You're babooning it, pointing your butt right at the ball, waiting for the other player to make a play and then intercepting it rather than challenging it proactively. Purple Barglittle at him. Aye, that's what I like to say. That wasn't the greatest clear by Marky, just hitting it straight down the middle. At least that second clear straight down the middle, he got a lot of distance on it, so it's fine. The first one he did not, so it was a little bit risky. And I believe this is the game where you got to keep an eye on Cux's shots and Marky's failed saves. Like, oh my. Jacob missing the open net, but it's okay, Fireburner's there. I don't know what Marky was doing here. Boop! Just drives too far forward. Gibbs is jealous because I'm a better coach. Maybe he is. I doubt that though. Top 3 players in the world. Well, I said earlier that if I wasn't allowed to pick 2 players from the same team, I would say Kux or Kronovi and one of Greasy or Maestro. Greasy and Maestro are very close from Northern. What's my favorite 1v1 matchup? It's got to be the good old Marky versus Scrub Killer. That's like the age-old rivalry. I've seen them play so many times, and like they're both constantly making adaptations to their game. Look at this shot by Kux, by the way. Look at this. He's up straight at the ball. Bang. In the top corner, over the defender. It looks so simple, but it's only looking simple because he's making it look simple. That is like a super difficult shot. Like that shot that we just saw. One of the best shots of the day. Unbelievable accuracy and speed. The fact that he gets up there, puts it over the top of the incoming defender. He doesn't even like have to 50-50 it or fake. He just beats him to the ball on pretty much a 50-50. Just so fast by Kux. And that's what, you know, really stood out for Kux this series. Just unbelievable finishing and positioning for his shots as well. Top 3 players, no matter what team. Probably, it's really rough because if I'm just thinking only 3v3, I'd say Kuxer, Kronovi. Right, and I'm taking the LAN heavily into consideration here. I'd say Kuxer, Kronovi, Maestro for like just individual play, just 3v3. But if I take 1v1 and 2v2 into account, I'd have to put Marky in there as well because he's super good at both of those. Probably just swap Maestro out for Marky if we're taking every game mode into account. Just because the Northern Gaming guys don't play many 1v1s except Maestro, who is, I think, falling off. He used to be a top 10 ones player, but I've not seen him in top 10 and ones for a while now. Top 10 players in no particular order. All of Northern Gaming, all of Flipside. Well, Mike's now off the team, so we'll just say Marky, Kux, all of Northern. We'll say Kronovi. We'll throw Lichinio and over 0 in there right now because LAN honestly is such a big factor. So that's 8 players. Then we'll also put, I think, Snasky and Doomsy probably, or like Jacob. Jacob you could put in there as well actually. Jacob and it's tough. Maybe Doomsy, I'd say. But ELMP is close. Snaski's close these days. Like, SA have just been killing it. Garrett's pretty close. Gambit is still a very good player. He's just not playing pro. Mike's still a very good player. He's just not playing pro.
Just back off and kind of let Flipside do what they want. That's something you never want to do. Don't let Flipside do what they want because they will just beat.
And then, of course, the Flying Dutchman took 4th at the LAN, and Dogu was probably their MVP. Although he had a lot of misplays, he looked like he was making it difficult for both teams, probably. It's really difficult to make a top 10 right now, though, because the LAN didn't go as expected at all, which is like, it basically threw a big spanner in the works. Like, SA not being at the LAN, and IBP and the Flying Dutchman doing as well as they did, Kings of Urban doing as badly as they did, Mocket doing as badly as they did, like, everything just went completely against what we expected based on the offline results, so it makes it very difficult to rank people at the moment. If you had like an online and offline top 10, that would be much, much easier.
They've got the ball in the orange territory, but Cookser able to take it away. Now Jacob with the demo onto Cookser. Might buy them some space and time. Sad Jr. over to Jacobs, who try and pop it back to the middle, but Cookser is there.
Flipside or IBP? What? Eating hot dogs?
It's gonna go. That's 3-1 for Flipside.
Why do Mike leave Flipside? Personal reasons. Man. Fireburner, this is the thing that Fireburner was getting caught out. Notice that bump, by the way, from Mike on Fire. I don't know if it made a difference, but good bump regardless. But Fireburner got caught out so many times by hard clears at this LAN compared to what he does online. Online, Fireburner is usually the guy who sees those, positions accordingly and intercepts them, hits the ball straight back into the other team's half, but his defense just wasn't there at the LAN. Speaking of defense not being there, I don't know what on earth happened to Marky right here. So I think what Marky tried to do is, he's backwards, he tries to jump off and front flip into the ball, but he just went far too low. He knew that if he reversed any further, he would fall off the wall into the goal, so just a huge mispositioning by Marky. And both the goals, you have to blame Marky for both the Kings of Urban goals. Horrendous defending on his part.
Kings of Urban not able to get ball control right now, but that's all Flipside. Very much stacked up. If they could just get some pass plays around, they'd have an opportunity. 20 seconds left on the clock.
Individual player power rankings. I could do the Johnny power rankings. Oh man, that would be a lot of work though. Jacob getting the accidental clear there is a heartbreak for Kings of Urban.
Jacob doesn't get the touch. Mike Rules kills it on the ground, just tries to play keep away and keep it off of Kings of Urban's bumpers. Jacob over to Sad, but it's not going to happen.
Bonus? Nah, never heard of it. Any tips on getting the perfect height on shots? Remember to hit the bottom half of the ball if you want the ball to go in a top corner and you're shooting up. Or even if you're just shooting like from mid-height forward, just hit the bottom side of the ball and it will arc in. I've seen a over 200 km/h goal scored. It's hard to tell if these boys are, yeah, it looks like they're laughing. That's good to see. Great sportsmanship coming out of Kings of Urban. They were the #1 seed from North America coming into this, and they got sent home without winning a series. Massive heartbreak for them, but they're still gonna be a great team. I hope that they stick together, get a team house, get a sponsor, show up at the next LAN, because they're fantastic for the scene. For me though, I was so glad that Flipside won because I was hanging out with them and I really didn't want them to be going home after one day. So I think if Kings of Urban had Moses, they would have done better at LAN. Probably not. Any chance of getting Doomsy for some ones? I'd love to.
Who reacts to it well and who doesn't? Clearly Genesis does. Listen to them. Listen to those guys at home field advantage cheering their America boys on to victory. But this one's going to be going over to Flipside.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable yet again. These guys battling it out and showing why they are still both top 4 in each region. But still, coming down to it at the end, we saw the first seed versus the second seed.
Incredible.
Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable games.
Yo, you two mess.
Speaking of unbelievable, Golden Boy is on the stage with
what a transition. It's pretty good by Wavefang, I'm not gonna lie.
So excited to hear what Mike's got to say about that match. Golden Boy, take it away.
Oh, Mike's very well spoken.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I'm joined by the one and only Mike Rules. Give it up for Flipside Tactics. Congratulations on your victory. Obviously, it was a hard-fought battle. Kings of Urban, a fantastic team. You guys were able to rally and get back into this one. You had a rocky start at the start of this competition. How are you feeling right now?
I really don't know. I mean, Kings are such a great team, and I was really looking forward to playing them in the winners bracket, and it's just so unfortunate that I had to come to the lower bracket, and one of us had to go home because they're really good friends, and you know, I'm really excited, but I'm so sad for Kings at the same time, so, you know.
He's such a nice
Bible
person.
thump.
Oh, give it up. Look at this guy. He's
Bible
so
thump,
kind.
man.
You're such a good human being. All right. So Cooks here went off. I mean, he was a savage that whole game. Everyone had
Bible
their
thump.
moment of, you know, to shine there. But you look forward to the next round. What was the atmosphere
Mike
like
rules with
for you
the
guys after that defeat?
with the
in the
the
upper bracket.
condo-
What did you guys do? What did you guys talk about after that?
I can't speak. The consoling words.
In the upper bracket to IVP was actually just so deflating. We all just went, like, you know, back to the players' lounge and just sulked, basically. You know, and Hector and Dana, Flipside, were like, you know, you got to pick yourselves up, you know, short-term memory, you know, you got another game. And we're like, yeah, we're not out of this yet, so we have to pick ourselves up. You know, you can't feel too bad for yourselves, or else, you know, you'll just be out on day one, and you don't want that. So, you know, good words of wisdom, you know, it was good.
Nice, good words of wisdom. You know what, man? It's awesome. You earned it, of course. So, you know, you got to wake up early tomorrow morning. But well, you know, you're in Hollywood, California. What are you going to do tonight? What's the game plan for my rules? And if you can I join you?
The game plan for tonight is something I really shouldn't say on stream, so, you know.
Oh, child. Oh, boy. All right.
Mike's expressions.
All right, Mike, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, guys. Give it up for the one and only Mike Rules and Flipside Tactics. They move on to the next
Mike's
round
expressions,
of the competition. They live to fight another day in the lower bracket.
Wonder where I am. I'm like over here somewhere. I think this is me, right? Is that me right there? I think it might be. And that's Leafix. It's difficult to tell, but I'm pretty sure I was standing over here for this game. Wait, was I? Flipside Kings. I think I was. This is me over here anyway. There you go. A wild Johnny Boy appeared.
But to close things out, and it has been an incredible
You don't like getting
day
touched by
here
Golden
at the
Boy?
RLCS
Nah, dude.
International Finals. Once again, I want to give
He's
you
just
guys
being
a round of
friendly,
applause.
Greasy.
Thank you so much for making this one incredible. You are amazing, but we have plenty more Rocket League to come. So to close things
He's just
out,
trying to make you feel
send guys
comfortable and
over to
welcome,
Acid Toss.
Greasy.
Take it away.
Ah, my neck.
Thanks, Golden Boy. And yeah, I mean, I kind of felt the same way watching that. It's like King's such a great Rocket League team, but Flipside obviously able to take.
And that was the last game of day
was
one.
full of surprises. The number 1 NA team is done after the first day, tied for 7th, and the number 3 EU. When we were hyping them up, the big 3, but as we get into the highlights here, it was the Cooks here show. But Kings
Who from IBP took a trophy? Nobody did. This trophy's going to be in Psionic Studios. And if a team wants a trophy, it'll have to be a replica. That's how it is in like any sport. Sometimes they give the trophy to the winner for like one season, and then they have to give it back, and if they want to keep something, they get a replica.
Out of the 14 for Flipside, and it was all about shot location. He's one of the best aerial shooters, and like pretty much all his goals here were somewhat in the air, but Mike Rules again, shot location.
You saw a hilarious clip with James shouting at someone for going to a studio, and I'm just laughing it up. Wait, where's that? I want to see that. What do I think about the casters casting and analysis? The casters were great. I think that they could have been a little bit more hype. Like the energy that the crowd had, you can't really pick it up from the stream. And based on that, I feel like the casters didn't hear that in their ears as much. But they should have played, I feel like they should have played the audio of the crowd through the casters' ears somehow, because the crowd was insane at times and the casters didn't really capture it. And I feel like it's not their fault. It's probably because they can't hear it, or they can't hear it loudly.
Like I'm jealous. I'm jealous of their height. I'm jealous of their hair. I'm jealous of their looks.
And their fashion, right? They got that European.
Your fashion,
James. like James is on point all the time. Always.
Of course, we started the day with 8 teams, and now
Am I gay?
we're
No.
down to 6.
It's subpar in HD vlog from their trip. Really? I need to see that. Wait a minute.
The teams that are still around, of course.
Where's
Kings of
subpar
Urban,
in HD?
Not here anymore for North America, and Maka EU stepping away from Europe. But that means we got 6 teams left. I'm at Power Cosmic, Genesis, Exodus, Flipside Tactics, Flying Dutchman, and North.
Yeah, 2 teams going home after day 1 is harsh, but it's fair because every team played 2 games in day 1, so it's pretty fair.
Of course, to see how things ended up playing out Of course, you guys should be
Cyanix Curry said that he felt he couldn't get that feeling from the live audience, which is something he'd like to see change in the future tournaments. Exactly. That's the biggest thing that I got from the event that you didn't get from watching the stream again, is the audience at times was going crazy. So crazy that we couldn't even hear the casters most of the time. And you didn't really feel that from watching the stream. So they need to definitely make a change with that. And also the casters can play off that energy. You could just, like, after a massive cheer happens, just go silent and let the audience on the stream hear the cheer of the crowd.
Been playing on fire. They're the one team who online was
as far as like analysis goes, I think they did a great job catering to the newer viewer, because there was tons of people tuning in for Rocket League for the first time, and they did a great job looking professional. It's a shame for me that James Watt wasn't casting, because he's one of my favorite casters, but that's just me being selfish. The production guys and the guys in the higher ups at Twitch have their own plan, and they're obviously killing it with the production, so that's fine. They didn't hire me, so that sucks. I'm just kidding. Hopefully I'll get a chance to do that in the future. The NA guys killed it, and honestly, like, being a part of the crowd and just a spectator was a huge amount of fun. So that's something that I'm never going to forget. Just being along with no obligations, just chilling, do whatever I want, and being stress-free. Also, the stories that they told about some of the EU teams was sort of not that good, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like it's normal, because the casters don't, and the analysts don't get the chance to watch as much EU Rocket League as I do. So when I listen to them telling a story of like an EU team and how they've got there and what the players have come from, I'm like, that's not exactly, you know, the story that I would tell, because I just know things and I talk to the players more than the casters do, which is perfectly understandable. But hopefully, if EU casters are included in the future, that wouldn't happen. Like the Flying Dutchman. The first time that they were ever casted on RLCS, none of the casters even knew who Dogu was, and I was like, what? Like, Dogu is insane. He's going to show up and slay some nerds, but none of them even knew Dogu, which is understandable if you're from NA, because you've never seen him play before, if you only watch NA streams. Because Dogu's not a big streamer or anything, he's just a really, really good player. Anyway, let's see.